Willie D Live.
I like watching the show,
Right.
but I like to go in that green room and have those private conversations.
Right.
People would be amazed at some of the conversations.
And probably people would, probably a lot of niggas be in jail too. I think that's the thing about comedy for me right now, is I literally think it's in a battle with a mindset that is trying to bring, I think, creativity to heal. I think it's trying to bring a certain mentality to heal. I think it would be all right with me if we were the kind of place that really was well-intended. But I think people want quiet. They don't want solutions. They want, like, if something happens in the police department, we know that people are corrupt. They'll fire those policemen, but not change the system. And they'll go, see, we did these things. Society's like that, too. They don't really care how you think. They just want you to say it. Like these corporations, somebody will do something or say something racist, and it'll be in the corporate environment. They go, we don't condone this, and then they get rid of that person. But the structure hasn't changed. Right. And I think the one thing about what we do, and I think that is very prevalent everywhere, and I think when they try to do that in the entertainment industry, especially in the comedic space, it's an environment where we're supposed to be able to be profane and profound. We're supposed to be able to say things that people aren't saying. It's like when somebody hears something you say on stage at another performance and they get mad. Motherfucker, that's like wearing a suit that's tailor-made for somebody and getting mad that it doesn't fit. You know what I mean?
Right.
That suit, that performance was for that specific audience. That interaction was very specific. It was tailored to that experience. And now people want to take a joke or to take a mindset. And I think part of the great thing about being comedy, you're not supposed to know if I'm serious or not. Because we're so used to tipping the joke. We're so used to saying just kidding or LOL. That's the way we are wired now. But people want to know if you're serious or not. And I don't think that's... Why would a magician show you his magic? Why would he tell you? Why would he give you the blueprint? Why would a chef give you his recipe? But I think when there comes to the things that come to this society, the things that people observe about it, they're very insistent on trying to have a certain mindset be evocative, be spoken about. And I think as a comedian, as any artist, you got to kind of just be willing to take accept the notion that people aren't going to always like or accept or appreciate what you do.
Yeah, and when you take that evocativeness too far, what in that heat come? You know, like, what do you do in that situation?
Nothing. What is there to do? So I'm a horrible person because I told a joke you didn't like. So that's, you know what I mean? You know me a long time. I've defended people who don't have, who I can't stand what they say. I don't like them at all. But the notion that we have freedom of speech means that people are occasionally going to say things that I don't like. And that's the definition of freedom. We're going to have to say things that people don't like, and accept that people are going to say things that we don't like. But this idea that we're all supposed to think alike and act alike and believe alike in a homogeneous society, which isn't even real, I don't take it seriously.
But should there be limitations on what people can say? Like in a civilized society where
we're not a civilized society.
Where certain words can, in a kind of trying to be a civilized society.
Right.
You know, are there certain things that people should not say to protect them from themselves and others? I
think that you have to be the arbiter of that. Like, my line ain't your line, and someone else's line may not be mine. Mm-hmm. But there's not a collective that tells us what we can say or not. Like, now there are people who are banning books, right? Mm-hmm. They're banning books, and many of the people who ban these books don't even read them. But on the auspice, under the idea that it changes mindset. Now, if 50 out of the 50 books that are banned, not one of them is Hitler's Mein Kampf. And actually, a lot of people who commit mass murders and shoot up schools, they read Mein Kampf and they're inspired by it. But that book is not banned, but Maya Angelou is. So a school shooter reads Mein Kampf, that's not banned. That's not banned, but Maya Angelou. I don't know why a caged bird sing, but I know why he duck. And I think we're trying to homogenize society to the extent that it makes people who are lying to us comfortable.
You know, that's one of Kanye West's favorite books.
I bet.
Yeah,
I bet.
You know, Kanye is a big Hitler fan. Him and Candace Owens.
He is. They are.
Why are they so revered
I
by so
had
many people?
because I think that anytime you say things, I just and I say this out loud. I despise people who despise my people. I despise people who. So you could say how great some. I've never known anybody that wrote a lyric so deep or a beat so cold that it made me forget how much you hate my
on,
people.
man. This
I've
dude,
never
man.
seen it.
Come
So,
on, man.
and I think the funny thing about that, and that's music is like that. I mean, the minister of music, was so mesmerizing. He was so talented that he talked angels into attacking God. He talked angels into fighting for heaven. That's how talented he is. That's what talent can do. That's what light can do. So if it can make if talent can make an angel believe that he's God and get other angels to attack, it can make people turn on themselves. It can make people believe things. It can make people say things. He's a very talented man, and I hate when people go, well, his mother died. In the grand design, all of our mothers will die, and that's if it's the best case scenario, that they die before we do, and you'll die before your children do. But what we never do is, and that's a horrible thing, but there are people who haven't been able to take life's losses, and they're under underpasses, and they're in psych wards, and they're outcasts all across. Our empathy and sympathy is not relegated to them because they don't they don't do something to make us feel good. I guarantee you, it's somebody. If a large percentage of the people that are homeless in America have served this country militarily, they've seen some pretty horrible things. You don't make excuses for them. They go to jail. They still homeless. We don't allot them the same amount of empathy as we do somebody who is talented.
Mm-hmm. You know why? That is because sometimes when you're very, very talented, you're right there on the cusp of genius. People become so enamored by your talent that they elevate you above criticism.
Sure.
And they will sacrifice their convictions for entertainment.
Right. They'll sacrifice their convictions for anything.
Anything, right.
You know what's interesting? People could not accept the fact that Bill Cosby had done these things, right? And it wasn't because of him, it's because of Cliff Huxtable. Now, I submit to you, Cliff didn't do it, but Bill damn sure did. So it's to me, you can be so talented. And one of the things for us, that's how good black people need to feel good. I remember when Black Panther was out, and everybody's wearing dashikis, and everybody's going to see it, and everybody's uber proud. It was interesting that that's how bad we needed to feel good, that we took a Marvel character and lionized it. This is about this imaginary kingdom where they were, head of technology and math. That was real. That already happened. You could only accept it in a comic book form, but that already happened. And so I think, although I believe that people are inspired, I think that one of the reasons that so many black women went on to secondary education and colleges and are by far the most educated segment of America is because of Cosby, and they were inspired by entertainment. So I don't knock it, but I think that when R. Kelly was doing what he was doing all these years, and everybody in radio knew it, and the audiences knew it to a greater or lesser degree, but it took seeing it on a documentary before people responded. How is it that our EIDS, our moral compass, is connected to a remote? Like it wasn't real until you got to press play and see it over and over again when you knew it already, and that's because people are blinded by talent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're an optical people too.
Sure.
We have to, and we get caught up in symbolism. Mm-hmm. And speaking of symbolism, I need to know your thoughts on this. I personally think that Kamala Harris, our vice president, is just a token. I don't believe that she was hired, put in that place to do anything substantial that was going to enrich black people's lives.
Then you have a counter narrative to history, because that's exactly what you select the vice president for. We're talking about the job she's selected to do. She was selected to be a vice president. How many vice presidents have ever gone on to become president? They're understudies. That's the definition.
Well, you got to be involved in the murder of the president in order to become the
Right.
president.
But
if you're vice
the
president.
notion is you're never going. Tom Brady would never pick a quarterback as good as him to be his backup. Never. Never. Nobody. How Aaron Rodgers leaves teams because they pick talent. Why they leave? Because they don't want anybody who's as talented as them in their space. It is unfair to believe either you're politically naive or obtuse. If you believe that a vice president has any power at all, they're figureheads. They go do the shit that the people don't want to do. That is why it's subsequently hard. Mike Pence is a vice president. He can't get no traction right now, can he? Dan Quayle was a vice president. Can't get no traction right now. Bill Clinton's vice president can't get no traction because people. And the only reason that Joe Biden is president is because Trump was so horrible that they went double back. Vice presidents very rarely become president. Very rarely. George Bush's father became president and did one term.
So I talked about voting for Biden, right? I
Sure.
shared with people that I did vote
Sure.
for Biden. And
Sure.
that is because, like millions of other people, I had the mentality of anybody but Trump.
Sure.
Okay. So I know that you voted, I think you voted for Biden also.
Of course.
Right?
And speak to him often.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Well, since you speak to him often, tell that sucker I said. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
But, no, I ain't got nothing to say to him. But anyway, when you vote for Biden, a vote for Biden, some people say, well, you're still voting for the lesser of two evils, and he ain't going to do nothing for us either. Now, my idea of voting for Biden was to shuffle the deck. Just like when you playing cards.
Sure.
And, you playing, what they call it, Peter Pad or something like
Petey
that?
pat.
Pity
Yeah.
pat. You shuffle the deck.
Right.
You shuffle the deck
Right.
until you get the good cards that you want.
Right.
So my idea was like, let's get him in. Let's make sure Trump don't
Right.
get in. Get him in. Shuffle the deck
Right.
on the next
Right.
election, and then let's try to get somebody in there better.
Who's better?
Until we get it right. When I really take a look at the political landscape, the only person that's really qualified to lead the country is me. Yeah, I'm pretty much the only, because I'm gonna say what it is, man. I'm signing executive orders daily,
Well,
man.
you know what?
I'm signing 100
I
executive
love
orders
you, but I
every single day.
disagree.
I'm signing executive
I don't
orders.
think you. Although I think you may be
Hey, I
qualified.
look out for you. I'm your dog.
Of course,
I look out for you.
I don't think you be the only one. But I'll say this: I hear these arguments about, oh, he's too old. I defy you. If we're talking about political accuracy, you can't think of a president in the modern era who's been more. Who had more legislative successes with less power. He had a very limited amount of power in a very small majority in the Congress and the Senate, and was able. He did something on guns. He did something on climate. He got an infrastructure bill passed. When I hear people, the economy under Donald Trump, under Joe Biden, is about 8 times what it was under Trump.